The craziest part of this whole story with him is that when me and John Gotti get arrested in 1990, we go on a tier. It's a solitary tier. There's 8 cells. I'm in a cell. John Gotti's in a cell. Frankie Lucasio's in a cell. And in a cell across from us is Tommy Karate. Hey, Sammy, how you doing? Hey, Tommy. I know he's in huge trouble, but I'm in trouble myself. So he tells me, he says, look at this. You want to see my autopsy reports and stuff that they got? I said, why the fuck would I want to look at autopsy reports and stuff like that, Tommy? What's wrong with you, bro? You never cleaned up, right? No, they got everything. They got the magazines, they got videos, they got all my tools, they got everything, Sammy. All right. And I'm not interested in looking at your autopsy reports and stuff like that. Occasionally, they would let us all out, the 8 cells, on the tier by ourselves. Not all the time, but once in a while. Weeks later, they do that. They let us out. And he goes over to John Gotti to talk. And I don't know what happens. And then he comes to me and he says, Sammy, you're the underboss, right? Yeah, you know that, bro. He says, I went to talk to John, and John says, you're not on my level. You can't talk to me. He was only a made guy. Wasn't even a captain. So I told him, I said, listen, that's his right. He's a boss. He doesn't have to talk to you. But you said, I'm the underboss. I always talk to you, right? Yeah. Well, if you want to ask a question or you want to say something, come to me, talk to me. I'll give him a message. You don't have to go over to him. He doesn't want you to. He accepted that, but he was steaming mad. Then we got moved and transferred. I really didn't see him in prisons or anything like that. I heard stories up and down all over the place. That Mark Ryder story, getting even for his son, and on and on and on. Guys were going to court, they were getting pinched. I don't know, years went by when I heard from him. I was in prison, I did time, I came out, and I got a guy came over to me and gave me some pictures, some artwork, and he said, he's doing that artwork. Do you want to sell it for him? And you pick up the money and then you give it to him in prison, commissary and stuff. It was pretty good art. I looked at it, it was pretty good artwork. I did artwork myself. But I really didn't want to get involved in that. So I told him, no, the artwork is good, but I'm not going to start selling it and send the money to him. And he could sell it on his own from prison to somebody, a family member. I don't want to get involved in the artwork, in the case, or anything. I wanted to stay away with that as much as possible. Now it's, I believe he got arrested in 1990. So you do the math, it's, what, 35 years, 36 years now, going on 36 years. He's still alive. He was younger than me. I found out that he's about 10 years younger than me. I'm 80, so that makes him 70. A lawyer approached me a while ago and said, Sammy, could you help him? I said, how? How could I help him? Well, he's doing a life sentence. Well, we want to get him out at a release that he's done so much time, he's reformed, his health is not good. I said, listen, I could give you some sort of letter that I think he's not a threat to society. I could give you something like that. I'm not a doctor. I don't know about his health. And, you know, I don't know if I could influence the judge or anything in that matter to do anything. So I told him, give him my regards, tell him I love him, tell him to stay strong. And you guys, you know, you guys are lawyers, you do all of that. I don't think there's anything I could do. So my answer is, if I thought I could do something for you, I would help you, but I can't. And I'm not going to send a letter and lie about things. If you're going to ask me to do that shit, I can't do it, bro. And you know, no matter what I say, it's going to be rejected by the court. I'm not going to get in trouble over this. And you know, if he had a problem with his family members or somebody's bothering somebody, let me know. I'll put a stop to it. I had cooperated. And when I was telling the government this story, they were just blown away. Tommy Karate is a very interesting guy with story after story, all kinds of different things. You know, articles came out of he killed 40 people, 50 people. I have no knowledge of that firsthand, but I've read stories about it, heard stories about it. As far as I knew him, and I don't know, maybe mob guys, one tough guy to another, we could talk. I knew he was a tough guy. I always respected him, but I was never afraid of him. He never gave me that feeling that I had to be afraid of him. We talked as friends. Just like, you know, when he was in prison, he knew I came to his house. I tried to give him the off. I gave him the off. He just didn't want to go with it. So the FBI was interested in a lot of details. I said, I don't know a lot of details of him. I know he's respected in the neighborhood. Who's his captain? I'm not sure. A guy named Anthony Spiro was a captain in that neighborhood. He was in the Gravano family, so was he. He was in our neighborhood a lot. He could be under him. There was a guy, Sonny Red, who was in our neighborhood, another captain. He could have been with him. I never had a problem with him or a beef, so I don't know who his captain was. But there's stories about him all over the place. I mean, the research is incredible. I think some of it's true, and some of it, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he killed 40 people. I was never had that kind of relationship. Another thing I did is that when I was in a witness unit, before I got out, and I bunked into Frank Angie. He's there. He's about 6'2", 6'3", big guy, strong, tough, even in prison. I could see what a psycho he is. We got to play handball or racquetball. We're playing racquetball. He's hitting the ball real hard. And with his other hand, he's smoking a cigarette at the same exact time. I said, bro, how do you do that? I'm huffing and puffing over here. You're smoking and playing and doing this, that, and the other thing. And one time, it was dinner time, we went for dinner. I got a line that some guy cut in right in front of me. So I say, hey, bro, there's a line. Don't cut in front of me, bro. We had words, very little, nothing major. He come flying over my shoulder with a crack. He hit him so hard, I seen the guy's face explode, and the guy went right down. That's the kind of guy he was. Even in prison, people were afraid of him. But I had asked him one time, what the fuck made you do that? You were getting a ticket. Why were you telling them about all those murders? He said, Sammy, I became to the point I was so afraid of Tommy, chopping people up and this and that and the other thing. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything anymore. I was a little stoned when I was going out with this broad, and the cops pulled me over. I don't know what happened to me. I just started talking like a machine. Yeah, well, you not only buried him with that episode, he got busted, but so many other guys got busted too, which you did. But listen, I did the same thing. I don't really give a shit. I don't want to get into it. with you. The last guy I wanted to get into it is with him anyway. I mean, he was big, tough. And it's fighting a maniac. They have no fear. They're weird. It's weird to fight somebody like that. Another time, I had an argument with two black guys. We were playing handball. And he come flying over again. I didn't see him coming. He banged into me and pushed me. He almost knocked me over, knocked me forward, and he hit this black guy a shot. Boom. Put him right down. The other black guy, they knew him. Everybody was leery of him. That's how tough he was. The other black guy backed right up. And he was going to stomp on him. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's enough, bro. It's a fucking argument. And he stopped. We got shipped in different places. It was good doing time with him. It wasn't bad. I knew him for years, so. And he was weird when he did all that. He was weird in prison. He must have been weird all his life. It's one of those things that happens, but I never saw him again. I read something that he got out of the witness protection unit. He went on with his life. He disappeared. Maybe when you go into that, the marshals hide you. So the news or investigators, nobody could find him. Either he left the country, he just snapped you up. So I'm not sure about that one way or another, but I am sure about all the other guys, Mark Ryder and everybody who was in my story. So guys, adios, amigos, and someday soon, I'll be with Mark, and I'm going to tell another story about the Plaza Suite. So I'll see you then.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.
What you just saw was a brief look into my story. Let me tell you something. Tommy Karate wasn't just a hitman. Behind closed doors, he crossed lines even the mob wouldn't touch. In this sit-down, I break down exactly what happened and what I know. Tap your screen to watch the full story or click on link below. And remember, new content drops every week. Adios, motherfucker.